me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that Greenlight Maine.
Welcome to the Greenlight Maine College Edition. We have a great show lined up as we close out our college series. The students are creative, fun, and when you hear them pitch, you may wonder, why didn't I think of that? It's been that way throughout the series, which means our judges have been faced with thoughtful decisions for the greater good of strengthening Maine's economy. Before we begin, we'd like to say hello to our panel who have done a phenomenal job throughout the series, and we hope that you'll all come back again and be with us. So let's start off with you, Tom Kittredge from Maine Technology Institute. What's this been like for you?
It's been so fun, and I've been struck by the quality of the pitches so far and the hard decisions we've had to make every single time. And I think that's a testament to the caliber of the candidates, and also I think every single business could be a viable business.
Rich Brooks from Flight New Media, what do you think?
I've also really enjoyed the process, and even a lot of the stuff that happens off camera when we really get a chance to talk to the students and dive in and ask even more detailed questions. They've just had some great answers, and it's been an exciting process to be part of.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time off camera with all the students. Okay, Scott Blake from Bangor Savings Bank.
Yeah, it's been a real honor to be here. Just thank you for everyone who's done all the work to put this all together, and especially to the students who their pitches. They've really done a great job in preparing and coming out and putting it all on the line for us. It's great.
And speaking of pitches, it's time for our first pitch from Colby College. We have James Lamarca with CCG. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. So, judges, my interest in art started in 2021 when I read an article about a museum in Denmark that hired an artist to create 2 paintings. And when it came time for them to submit the paintings, they handed 2 blank canvases and titled it "Take the Money and Run." And I looked at that and I was like, that's so interesting. You know, as a sociology major and an econ and art double minor at Colby College, I thought about all the social dynamics and the economic dynamics at play in that process, and I wanted to learn more. So for me, I applied for a research grant through Colby College and was funded to travel around the United States to 5 major cities and interview roughly 30 art galleries in those various cities. And I came up with 2 main conclusions. The first is that we have a huge problem environmentally with packaging, with shipping, and with production of art. Second, we have a career development crisis where artists are really struggling to find their ability to launch their careers and grow and take the next step. So for me, the career development issue was the biggest one that stood out first. And so when you think of a career, you think of a ladder, and you think of climbing that ladder as you grow in your career and develop. And talking with these galleries, they really described how current galleries want to sell the work as quick as possible for the most amount of money. And they likened it to some stereotypes that you see in the used car industry, where they don't want you to know how many floods the car's been in, they don't want you to know how many accidents the car's had, because they want to sell it to you for the highest price. And in that same way applied to the art industry, they don't want you to know who this artist is relative to their peers, and also how that art directly relates to similar pieces of art as well, because that gives a price point and makes it a little bit harder for them to have that wiggle room to make the most profit. And for me, I really struggled with that because I felt as though artists were going to really find a hard time to advance. And this speaks to some of the ambiguity that you can see when you see how Denmark, that museum pays $84,000 for 2 blank canvases. Oftentimes you see now artists turning to social media to try to hit the career lottery and just hope that they get some sort of public recognition without any real professional backing. So my company looks to provide a marketable product for artists to be able to professionally market themselves to other galleries and further their career, basically getting a hand on that ladder. And so for me, the product would encapsulate 3 things. The first would be an exhibition that showcases their work and allows them to sell their work in a professional gallery. The second one would be media articles written about them as an artist and their gallery. And the third would be a podcast where I interview them one-on-one and they're able to express their identity as an artist. These three things together provide them with a marketable product and a resume bolster that they can now take to other galleries and other art institutions to really market their careers. Additionally, my gallery would also offer art management opportunities for interns, students, and emerging artists in the arts management field as well. So that would be in curation, production, media, and marketing for the art industry. And to address the environmental issues, my gallery would incorporate a sustainable benchmark software that incorporates the 5 different waste categories in production and in shipping and process, that encapsulates and addresses our environmental needs and sets an industry standard for what we should keep as our environmental practices moving forward into the future. I plan to use this money to help me in 3 different areas. The first would be the software research and development. The second would be providing operational equipment for the physical location. And the third would be IP licensing for the business. Thank you so much.
What a great idea. Great job. Okay, let's kick off the questions with Tom.
Yeah, really fascinating concept. I think it's awesome. I'm curious, in terms of bringing in money to fund all of this, what's your revenue model?
Right, so I have a multi-level revenue model. I do plan to incorporate the software as a service as a primary revenue model, and that's marketable to 3 different kind of groups. The first would be other galleries who want to set a similar benchmark. The second would be auction houses who want to use it as a valuation tool and something that they consider when they deem how they want to set their prices for auctions. And the third would be for curriculum development at educational institutions to create more sustainable art programs so that we can continue this momentum.
Rich.
It's a fascinating idea. I can't say I'm too familiar with the artist career path myself. So I'm trying to understand, are you offering your services as gallery or as like an artist management, or is it some sort of hybrid, or if I missed the point entirely?
No, like it's actually kind of a hybrid. It's basically being the first step of arts management for artists through the function of a gallery. So the gallery provides them with a professional outlet to provide a first show, whereas as far as arts management specifically, we're the first step, hoping to give them that marketable product of those 3 media formats that I mentioned that they can take to other galleries to advance their career.
So like a launching pad for the artist career.
Exactly.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Scott.
Do you know where you're going to put the gallery, or what are the decision points around making that?
Yeah, so for me, right now, Waterville is the first place that I want to put the gallery. I think it provides the perfect opportunity to best use funds most efficiently because there are 3 colleges in the area, which is Colby College, Thomas College, and Kennebunk Valley Community College. And additionally, Waterville High School is also right there as well. And so it provides a large pool of emerging artists or potential artists in both as artists and also art management employees. This model, like the beauty of this model too, is that it can really take place anywhere where there are universities in a close proximity for starters. So you could think of almost any major city in the United States as well.
Waterville is going to love that. Congratulations. All right, we have to take a short break, but when we come back, You May or Know is on deck. Don't go away. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Come on over. Talk to these guys.
Bangor Savings Bank, committed to investing in its employees, customers, and communities to help create a stronger Northern New England. Bangor Savings Bank. You matter more.
Maine Technology Institute, offering grants, loans, and equity investments to help support Maine's innovation economy and committed to supporting new ideas with potential to grow. Visit mainetechnology.org. Hey Maine, how are you? Yes, you. How are you really? It's a question we rarely ask ourselves. But to Northern Light Health, how you are means a lot. Learn more at northernlighthealth.org/howareyou.
Welcome back to the Greenlight Maine College Edition. If you like thrift stores, this one is for you. From the University of Maine, Orono, we'd like to welcome Iris Thrifting with Iris Fleming and Lucas Bent. Whenever you're ready, look right at the judges and have fun.
Where do I like to buy my clothes? That's the question that I asked myself when I first met Iris and when she first pitched the concept of Iris Thrifting to me. And so I started thinking about fast fashion and buying new clothes, and I realized that I don't really like to do that. I mean, whenever I walk into one of those stores not knowing what I want going in, I'm usually going to come out empty-handed. And when I do find something that I want, I always feel bad about it because one, it always ends up being way too expensive, and two, I've realized that it's really bad for the environment. I mean, around a third of all microplastics in the ocean are contributed by the fashion industry, which is a pretty terrible statistic that a lot of consumers are starting to take note of. And then there's thrifting, which I've realized that I like a lot better. It's more fun, it's way cheaper, it's good for the local community, and it's good for the environment because you're reusing clothing. Plus, even if you don't know what you want going in, there are often so many items that something might find you. Although with that variety comes some inconsistency. You might be investing your gas money and time to go to one of those stores just to realize that they are closed or that they haven't gotten any new inventory or donations since you last went there. And in that case, you might still go home empty-handed. So that's what I started thinking about when I first met Iris, and I realized that I didn't really know where I'd like to buy the clothes the best. But that's why Iris Thrifting sounded so appealing to me.
So Iris Thrifting is a unified online platform where thrifters and thrift stores alike can buy, sell, trade, and upcycle clothing and clothing materials. So we address ethics and sustainability by prioritizing local businesses, starting with directly targeting businesses and sellers in Maine, which will minimize the shipping distances, which will in turn reduce the carbon footprint and reduce costs. Additionally, we don't only target college students like ourselves. Anyone who is looking to add to their wardrobe in an affordable manner is the ideal audience for Iris Thrifting. And we also serve to bolster existing brick and mortar thrift stores that have struggled a lot during COVID by providing them an online venue to receive donations, sell materials that aren't selling in person, and just expand their businesses by providing an easy to access and very efficient online storefront. Finally, our business model focuses on blurring the line between buyer and seller by only providing one type of account so that individual thrifters can create their own listing of upcycled materials with the end goal of ultimately reducing the environmental strain of the fast fashion industry and by giving affordable clothing to opportunities to everyone.
Yes.
What a great platform this is. You guys have so many valid points. Okay, Tom, kick us off.
I think this is an amazing idea. I really love it. One question. So part of the nice thing about thrifting is you go into a store, you try something on, it looks great on you. First, is there a way for people to imagine what they'll look like in the clothing? And also, what's your return policy in case people order something and want to send it back?
So I think that's a great question. For imagining what they look like, as of right now, we're encouraging people to upload as many pictures as possible. In fact, we are already in the middle of developing the platform, and that's a page that's already been built. In terms of the future, we've been considering concepts of potentially being able to scan in an item. This is for the far future if we end up continuing development for maybe being able to visualize the object in 3D or something like that. And then for the return policy, that's something else that we've considered talking to customers. We think it would be optimal if we were able to support a site-wide return policy. In that way, anyone who's selling would have to agree to be able to accept returns in the case that the item is not as described.
Rich.
I also think this is a really interesting idea. I'm wondering how much you've talked to some of the local thrift stores and whether or not they feel that this might compete with their own websites or if they're excited about having another platform to sell on.
So both of us have talked individually to local thrift stores. From what I've gotten, most small thrift stores don't have online websites. They're pretty limited in that. And so like if a thrift store already has its online website, great, maybe they can continue with that. But so many thrift stores don't have any way to put their things online. And so this will give them an easy avenue to do that.
Scott.
I'm thinking about transportation. So if I've got a big bag of stuff that I want to get rid of in my house and maybe I want to do some shopping in the meantime, do I need to list all of those things individually, or is that part of the encouragement of the thing? How does that work for somebody who's got stuff they want to move?
So if you're an individual who wants to sell things, you absolutely can sell them individually. And that's something that we're still developing. That's part of the concept that's still developing, but I believe that we would allow you to sell lots, similar to how you would donate to a thrift store. In fact, we would also support donating as well.
You guys have great answers, great questions. We have to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hear from our judges, so don't go away. Come on over. Great job.
Through their efforts to support Maine entrepreneurs who are growing our economy, Greenlight Maine is making our state a better place to start and operate a business. For these efforts and the creation of a robust entrepreneurial ecosystem, the Harold Alfond Institute for Business Innovation at Thomas College is proud to be a sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
FAME came along at a time when we really needed somebody to believe in our mission.
It's so nice to have somebody actually try to understand what we're doing.
FAME helps Maine businesses and lenders get to yes for their financing needs.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
Martins Point Generations Advantage, offering comprehensive Medicare Advantage plans. Information at martinspoint.org.
Welcome back to the Greenlight Maine College Edition. Our judges have a lot to talk about, but before we let them talk this through, we're just going to go over the criteria for our folks at home. So it's scalability, feasibility, overall quality, innovation, and of course, the ability to stay in Maine and grow their companies. So let's start with CCG only because he pitched first. What do you think, Tom? Let's talk about the opportunities first.
Absolutely. I love the mission of empowering and raising the visibility of young artists. And I think that it can be very hard to start in the art world. So having an advocate in your court can be very powerful.
Yes.
This not being my world, I didn't know a lot of what the career path was like, but I think for me, one of the strongest points may be the software that James is developing, and that's something that I could see really scale up and being used by a lot of other galleries around the country.
It seemed like he was just definitely diving in and solving a problem, because how do you get seen and how do you get connected? And it's a great platform.
It is, and Maine is a great place to be starting it too. We have a really thriving arts community here and long tradition, especially along the coast, of artists coming along and some really famous ones. There's some great museums and so forth. So it's a great place and time to be trying out something like this.
Of course. Okay, now opportunities for Iris Thrifting.
I think that Iris, I think they're addressing a real need. There are so many thrift stores out there, and I think the opportunity to expand the market for them could be really powerful.
I think it's also interesting how they're treating the individual thrifter and the stores equally, so you can see a lot of people getting involved with this. Maybe even some people that have thought about starting a thrift store but have not really taken a leap yet could be a platform for them.
Real opportunity for people.
Yeah, and it's perfect for that age demographic. I think there's definitely a great angle on the younger crowd that are really participating in this. I think somebody mentioned that they don't buy clothes that haven't been worn by somebody else before. It was your daughter, right? My son is in the same boat, and so he'll be a perfect and target market for this thing.
My son too. He goes out with his friends and they go to all the thrift stores. I just love it. So, okay, let's talk about some challenges with CCG.
Yeah, I think part of his mission is to raise the profile of young artists, but part of what he'll need to do that is to raise the profile of the gallery. So how he markets the gallery is going to be very important for his success.
I also think he faces a challenge in that there's already a lot of galleries out there and there's a lot of competition for these artists, and maybe they're not thinking about their career path and that there might be a dead end here. So I think that there's going to be education both for the galleries that he might be trying to feed, as well as some of these young artists understanding those services that he's providing, because it is a brand new idea.
It sure is.
And there's a degree of complexity to it, I think, with the promotion of the artist, the management, and the sustainability angles all kind of wrapped together. That can be a real plus, but it just also makes it more complicated to understand.
It seems like he has to pick one item and then just build it from there and just add resources over time, right?
I think so,
Just to do it all at once would be just a ton of work to me.
It's fine to do multiple things, but when you're telling that story to somebody else, you really want to focus on one thing that's going to persuade them.
Right, from the marketing guy, sure. Okay, let's switch to Iris Thrifting.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of somewhat similar products like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist on the market, and we had the opportunity to speak with them off screen, and they really went into how they were differentiated from some of these platforms through upcycling, through having a storefront marketplace. So I think really leaning into those points of differentiation is going to be important.
I think they do definitely have some challenges. One is just to start building that critical mass of users, both on the buying and the selling side, and also training up both thrift stores and thrifters themselves to take better photos to make them more attractive so that the buyers are interested in purchasing.
Well, and there's an opportunity here too, I think, to really play up the local angle. It's a popular thing to be talking about these days, and minimizing all of that shipping and boxes and all of those things that go along with that long distance commerce is a real opportunity for them. So if they can really figure a way to make that work, which is not easy, then that's going to be a great thing for them.
Okay, so we have time for just a quick comment from each of you. Just talk about maybe like what you look for in a long-term plan.
I think for Iris, I'd be looking for them to develop more relationships with thrift stores, and not just ones in their backyard, but really starting to expand that so they can grow their marketplace.
Yeah, I agree, and I think also just thinking again about how they're going to market and raise awareness of their product is going to be crucial.
And I think also keeping engagement with that younger crowd, maybe as they grow up a little bit more, and maybe start to move up market at some point, perhaps. If we talk about the gallery idea as well, geography works in their favor in the beginning because we've got a strong community here, but over time, he's probably going to want to look at other places, larger populations, bigger marketplaces.
Well, Waterville is so lucky to have him because that is going to be just a great asset to that whole area. All right, well, thank you so much. Our entire crew thanks you. You guys have been just a pleasure to work with the Greenlight Maine College Edition. So phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
And you got your work cut out for you because you're still going to decide today's winner. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with our winner, so don't go away. We'll be right back. If you own a business and want to get more involved with Greenlight Maine, go to our website at greenlightmaine.com. Partnering with us means supporting startups, creating jobs, and building Maine's economy.
Maine Technology Institute, offering grants, loans, and equity investments to help support Maine's innovation economy and committed to supporting new ideas with potential to grow. Visit mainetechnology.org.
Albin, Randall & Bennett, committed to providing accounting solutions to Greenlight Maine startups, working with businesses and organizations that operate locally and nationally. ARBCPA.com.
Bangor Savings Bank, committed to investing in its employees, customers, and communities to help create a stronger northern New England. Bangor Savings Bank. You matter more.
Too many entrepreneurs, when they start off, make the mistake of believing that they have to serve everyone. They think that in order to be successful, that everyone needs to be their customer. The problem with this type of thinking is that when an entrepreneur thinks too broadly as to who they are going to serve, they usually do a mediocre job of serving those that they do. Instead of thinking too broadly about a group of individuals or a problem, an entrepreneur should think as narrowly as possible. By doing this, an entrepreneur is able to offer a very specific solution to a very specific group of individuals. As a result, it is so much easier to identify who these people are and what their problem is. This is what is called finding a niche. Once their niche is identified, an entrepreneur can so much more easily begin to understand what this group of customers want or need, because by and large, these customers are more likely to act and behave very similar to one another. This leads more readily to what is called product market fit at a much faster pace. Product market fit is a situation where what is being offered by the entrepreneur is as good a match with this more limited niche as possible. This in turn allows the entrepreneur to maximize their time, serving the right customers and optimizing their resources.
Welcome back to the Greenlight Maine College Edition. The students pitched their hearts out, and the future looks bright for both Iris Thrifting and CCG, no matter what happens of the outcome today. Judges, it's time to find out who you chose. I'm going to count you down. 3, 2, 1. And that means Iris Thrifting is today's winner and gets the green light to move on in the competition. Congratulations to Iris and Lucas. You did an amazing job. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. We love hearing from you, so please like us on Facebook and all of our social media pages, and you can see all of our episodes on greenlightmaine.com. We'll see you right back here next week. Have a successful week. Congratulations. Yes, congratulations. Yeah. Come on over.
Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you.
Furniture for Greenlight Maine is provided by Chilton, a Maine company offering a modern take on traditional New England wood furniture. Hotel accommodations for Greenlight Maine are provided by Hilton Garden Inn, Auburn, Riverwatch.